Conference is going to be ridiculous. Marcus Morris, first impression, Clippers Nuggets.
Man, I got to go with the Clippers. Right? Let's keep an eye on David Adelman's first playoffs. They just now fired their head coach. X's and O's is going to be a big thing in this matchup, and I just don't see David Adelman out-coaching Tyronn Lue.
Clippers have been so good this second half of the season. Trinae, Grizzlies, Warriors in the play-in, first impression.
Look, this is going to be fun. It's going to be box office for two different ways. You know how they say styles make fights? Steph Curry from three, we all know he's historical when it comes to that aspect. But, of course, on the other end, someone that loves to attack the basket, Ja Morant. You know, Grizz in a little bit of turmoil, but still, these two guards are going to really show up and show out.
Windman, the 3-6 is the Timberwolves and the Lakers. First impressions, Windy.
This is a rematch, not of the Lakers and Timberwolves, but of Luka going back to Minnesota, where he dropped the dagger on them in the Western Conference Finals last year when he was with the Mavericks. He loved playing on the road up in Minneapolis. I don't think he'll be stressed at all about going there. The thing here is obviously the Timberwolves like to play big. They can sometimes play with two centers. The Lakers like to play with no centers. Who will get to impose their will? I think you will see the Lakers try to play Rudy Gobert off the court as much as possible in this series.
You like this matchup for the Lakers, don't you?
I do, man, and I think it comes down to Rudy Gobert, as Wendy just said, man. Listen, guys are going smaller, right? How is Rudy going to take not being able to play in those crucial moments, adding LeBron James at the 5 sometime, right? Spreading the floor out. Rudy Gobert is their defensive anchor, and he knows one way. He knows one way, and every time someone drives, he's coming to the basket. Will open up corner threes, open up spacing, and then look, ISO time against Luka Doncic. I don't think he want to see that.
It's a tough matchup. Yeah. I mean, candidly, no one fares particularly. Look at that. I mean,
look at it. Hey, sent them home too, man.
Can you translate the words that he's saying there for me? No, I forget I asked you that.
Not right now.
Forget we said that. Do you like the matchup for the Lakers?
I do like the matchup for the Lakers, but still what I love about this matchup is the superstar power. Last year, the postseason was the rise of Anthony Edwards when he took down Kevin Durant. We saw that moment of Luka chirping.
Yeah.
You remember those images of Edwards chirping at KD?
Yes.
And then what did he do? He followed it up by chirping at Jokic being able to take down the Denver Nuggets. Will he do that again? Again, it's a tall task going up against Luka and LeBron, but I'm excited to see what this moment, it brings out the best in him. And speaking of the best in it, we've seen it this season, averaging a career high in points, 27 points per game. I don't know if people realize he led the NBA in made threes, 320 threes he made, more than Steph Curry. Like, this was a concerted effort for him to knock down shots, knowing that he's going to have more on his shoulders as an offensive threat. I love this matchup because it's going to bring out the best in him.
Windman, it is fascinating. As you were talking, it got me to thinking. You got Ant versus Luka. Neither of them, I mean, their circumstances are so thoroughly different from what they were a year ago.
True.
Ant was part of a big two in Minnesota. They traded the other one away. Luka was part of a, essentially, well, I guess it was a big two with Kyrie in Dallas. They traded him away. So these two stars go head to head, and things couldn't be more different than they were a year ago.
Yeah, and Minnesota has actually been playing really well. They won 9 of 11 games down the stretch to get out of the play-in. There was a little bit of drama this weekend. Ant Edwards got a technical foul Friday night, would have been suspended yesterday. The NBA rescinded it. He was needed in that game. He scored 43 points to get them into this spot. The Timberwolves last year were a great defensive team, #1 in the league, and a sort of middle-of-the-pack offensive team. Down the stretch of this season, they've been a better offensive team than defensive team. So this is while it is comparable to what we saw last year, and is shooting way more threes, their offensive ceiling is higher after trading for Julius Randle, and their defensive ceiling hasn't been as good. So, and by the way, these teams split the season series, but none of the games were really played with the Lakers playing the way they are now. So I'm going to throw that out. So I expect a competitive series. I agree. I think the Lakers have the advantage, especially because they get home court advantage. They have been awesome all year at home. They worked so hard to get that 3 seed, and they've gotten a good spot going into the West playoffs.
We've managed to talk about this series for 3 minutes and 31 seconds, and there's 2 words I haven't said yet, and they are LeBron James. His name has not yet come up. What's LeBron's role in this? We talk all we want about Luka and Ant, obviously. How about LeBron in this series?
It's to be the OG. It's to be the vet, right? Have the guy with the highest IQ in the NBA to put guys in the right spots, right? I think it's going to be critical to see how they keep Ant in the box and the different matchups they throw at him, right? How do they cover Luka Doncic's defensive flaws? But LeBron James, the smartest guy on the court, I think he allows Luka to be Luka, do his thing and get easy bags to get out in transition and be LeBron.
But if LeBron is the smartest guy, which we all agree, where do we put JJ Redick in for the masterful job he has done so far this year? Because he said, I still have some cards up my sleeve.
Yeah.
We know that he was not showing everyone what this team could do, even at the small ball lineup. What I expect to see more of is LeBron James and Luka Doncic in that pick and roll.
Ooh.
LeBron James in that short role as a decision maker, because that is a nightmare for defenders. Okay, now you've given LeBron James a short court. He can pop it out to shooters, or he can attack with an advantage himself. Like, I do think that the Lakers actually have more up their sleeve.
All right, they will begin next weekend. We'll have plenty of time to look ahead to a lot of these matchups, which are just spectacular. And again, the play-in begins tomorrow night. Steph and the Warriors will be involved in that. Meanwhile, the madness of the women's NCAA tournament came to an end, so it is time for the 2025 WNBA draft, and you will see it tonight, 7:30 Eastern, right here on ESPN. All eyes and ears will be on the newly crowned champion from Stores, Paige Beckers, the presumed #1 draft pick. After a 9-31 season, the Dallas Wings are set to be first on the clock. Beckers will begin her New Jersey journey, after a picture-perfect ending to an amazing collegiate career. If you need a reminder, here it is. She battled through injuries, but that didn't stop her from scoring the third most points ever by a UConn player, and actually per game, 19.8. It was the most in school history, just barely edging out Maya Moore. So here we go, another year, another superstar coming into the WNBA, and all these expectations. What are the expectations for Paige Beckers going to the next level?
By the way, Greeny, you were correct. It is going to be a New Jersey for Paige.
A New Jersey.
Right? Very
correct.
likely going to be a Dallas Wings jersey for Paige. What are the expectations? Honestly, she fits in effortlessly. If you think about a puzzle, the final piece that just clicks in, and it's like, oh, that's like glue, that's great. I have a masterpiece. That is what Paige was able to accomplish in college. Like you mentioned, she's battle tested. It's her persistence. But what I love the most is her efficiency. She is one of the most efficient guards we have ever seen. And at the WNBA, you want players that can do work, that can do damage against teams without the ball in their hand. She's played off ball and she's succeeded. She's a 3-level scorer. She has a tough, little post game, right? But more importantly, her mid-range is lethal. I don't know why so many defenders went under her on 3. She can knock it down. She's lights out. But what I love the most is she's selfless. Like, she makes her teammates better. She helps others lead. And when Gino said, we need great games, we need great performances, we need you now, she just delivered in the biggest ways. 30-piece, 40-piece, 30-piece in the tournament. But most importantly, she cut down the nets. And I believe that in her future, that's in her cards as well in the WNBA.
And so for the second straight year, we have these incredibly famous players coming into the league. Now we get set for Caitlin Clark's second season, and the Fever, the team that she plays for, have made some moves. Let me show you what they've done, switching things around there. They re-signed Kelsey Mitchell, they signed Duana Bonner and Natasha Howard, they trade for Sophie Cunningham, and they hire Stephanie White as their new head coach. So they've turned over a lot of stuff there. What does all this add up to for Caitlin Clark in her second season?
W's.